हेलो बच्चों. So let's start transportation in plants. Okay, you know about the plants that plants use the inorganic substances present in the environment around themselves, and they synthesize their own food by using the sunlight by the process of photosynthesis. Okay, so what the things plants need? They need water and minerals, the gases like the gas like carbon dioxide, chlorophyll are within their green parts, and they utilize the sunlight. Okay, so where from they get water and minerals? Obviously from the soil. And there the part of plants which is in contact with the soil is roots. So roots absorb the water and minerals, but roots cannot perform photosynthesis. Okay, photosynthesis is being carried out by the green parts. So there is a need of transporting these water and minerals to the green parts. Okay, like leaves and stem. Okay, so this transportation of water and minerals is done by xylem. Got it? And there are two forces, two causal actions responsible for this rise of water and minerals in the plants to the higher parts. One is root pressure. Okay, root pressure and transpirational pull. Okay, we will discuss it. Then the another thing that when these water and minerals are available to the green parts, chloroplast, and sunlight is there, then what happens? Photosynthesis takes place, and as a result of photosynthesis the plants prepare their food. They prepare the carbohydrates. Okay, and these prepared food must be transported to some storage organs and other living cells. Mostly the plants having dead cells, so their energy requirement is low. But this food prepared must be transported to those living cells like meristematic tissue, the growing parts of that plants, and the storage parts like roots and stems, different types of these storage parts. This food has to be transported. So this transport of food is called translocation, and the process of translocation is done by the different conducting tissues, the complex tissues called phloem. Okay, and in the phloem the conduction of food material is done by active transport and the spontaneous diffusion. Okay, so we will discuss it one by one, how water and minerals are transported by the xylems and how the food is translocated by the phloem. Okay, so first if we see in plants, transportation of materials like food, water and minerals takes place through conducting tissues called xylems and phloems. Okay, what happens in xylems? What are xylems? It transports water and minerals from the roots to all parts of the plant. This is the responsibility of xylem. It consists of xylem vessels and tracheids. Okay, in earlier class, in actually 9th class, you have seen the composition, how what are the xylems and how is it composed. All the elements of this xylem, you know about it: xylem vessels, tracheids, xylem fiber and xylem parenchyma. Okay, xylem is mostly dead tissue. Water and minerals enter the roots by diffusion. Okay, and then due to transpiration the suction force helps in the upward movement of water and minerals. Okay, so let's see how this water and minerals take place. Their transportation takes place in plant. So these are the tracheids, and these vessels. There are two types of tracheary elements. The main conducting elements are xylem, are these two. Okay, in some plants these vessels are more in number, in some plants tracheids are present. Okay, so let's see how this is transported. Suppose this look at this picture here. You see the tree here, a plant is there. So what happens, the xylem tracheids or vessels of these roots, they are in close connection with the tracheids and vessels of the stem. Further they are connected with the tracheids of the branches and up to the leaves. Okay, so these xylem elements, they are in close contact with each other and they form a continuous network, a continuous channel inside the plant. Okay, first of all, what happens, how this water and minerals present in the soil, how these are absorbed by the roots, and how these roots how these water and minerals, they rise up to so much heights. Many plants are very tall. You see the eucalyptus tree here and redwood trees, think about that, is in hundreds of meters height. So this up to this height, the ascent of, say, this rise of this water and minerals takes place by two factors. One is root pressure. Okay, root pressure, what happens to this, what is root pressure? What actually happens here in the soil, there are the minerals and water are present and everywhere, and these roots having the root hairs which enlarges the surface area, and the root hairs are in contact with the soil particles, and where in between the soil particles the minerals and water is present. What happens at first, these minerals, the ions of these ions from the soil, they are actively taken up inside the roots, actively taken up. Just remind, there are two types of movements of particles across the cell membrane. One is spontaneous movement, passive movement. There is no need of energy, it takes place through concentration gradient, more concentration to low concentration. Okay, that is diffusion and osmosis. Active transport, what happens in this, the energy in the form of ATP is used, and in active transport, by using energy, the salt or the particles, they move across the cell membrane. It may be takes place against the concentration gradient. Okay, means लो concentration से high concentration की ओर भी movement हो सकता है by utilizing energy. So first the ions of these minerals are taken up actively, means by utilizing energy the ions are taken up inside the roots. What happens due to this, the osmotic pressure has been created. Just think, the more ions are present inside the roots, then what will happen, means the concentration of solvent, that is water, is more outside. The concentration of water is more outside the plant, that is inside the soil, but concentration of water decreases inside the roots. So what will happen, this endoosmosis, osmosis of water inside the roots takes place. Got it? So due to this, the pressure, a pull is created, a pressure is created inside the roots, which causes the rising of this water and dissolved minerals. This is called root pressure. Okay, what happens in tall plants, this root pressure is capable enough to rise the water and mineral up to little heights. It is applicable for the it is capable to rise the water in the small plants, but in bigger, the tall trees, what happens, one more strong force also takes place. You know, the green plants, the trees, they evaporate the excess water from the stomata of the leaves, and this process is called evaporation, transpiration. Okay, this evaporation of water from the leaf surface is called transpiration. And what happens, we have discussed that these xylems are in close continuous contact with each other. So यहाँ पर जो xylems है एक दूसरे के contact में है, and what happens, due to transpiration, यहाँ से कुछ water loss हो गया है, तो यहाँ पर जो water loss हो गया, that's why their is created a low pressure area in this xylem of leaves. So what will happen? Here is more water, here is more water, here is more water. So water will move upward from high pressure to low pressure, क्योंकि यहाँ से ट्रांसपिरेशन हो गया, यहाँ पर प्रेशर कम हो गया, नीचे प्रेशर ज़्यादा है, तो वाटर विल राइज ऑटोमेटिकली. इन द सेम वे यहाँ से वाटर राइज हो गया तो यहाँ पर कम वाटर प्रेशर हो गया, सो वाटर विल राइज अप फ्रॉम द बिलो पार्ट्स. ओके. This process takes place continuously, and in this way the water is pulled upwards. Okay, this pull is created due to transpiration, so it is called transpirational pull. Okay, so means think about we are sucking the cold drink by using the straw. ओके, तो स्ट्रॉ में से जब सक किया जाता है कोल्ड ड्रिंक्स को तो वो ऊपर की ओर जाती है. इन द सेम वे हियर इज द transpirational pull, it does the same work. Okay, so by root pressure, always remember these two things. One is how the water and minerals enters roots by root pressure. Okay, and what happens in this process, root pressure, how it is created? First, the active transport of ions takes from soil to these roots, and due to accumulation of ions inside the roots, what happens? The osmotic pressure is created because the concentration of solute is more inside this root, and solvent concentration is more outside the root. Solvent means water here, so water will automatically move inside the roots by the process of endoosmosis. Okay, so this is root pressure, and transpiration pull, it is created by the transpiration process. Okay, in this way the water and minerals are transported to the heights, it reaches the heights in the plants. Okay, and the second mechanism, the translocation, means transportation of food, it is done by phloem. So what are phloems? It transports food from the leaves to the other parts of the plant. This process is called translocation. Okay, shifting of food is called translocation. The phloem consists of sieve tubes and companion cells. Okay, these are mostly the living tissue. It is formed of living tissue. Mostly the living tissues are present inside the phloem. It consists of sieve tubes and companion cells. Sieve tube is the main conducting element of phloem. Beside this, parenchyma and fibers are also there. Food from the leaves is transferred to the phloem by the energy of ATP molecules. Here, the active transport is being taken place here also. So, first, using the energy of ATP molecules, the leaves transfer the food to the phloem tissue. Okay, due to the osmotic pressure, water enters the phloem and helps in the transportation of food. Okay, so this is the structure of phloem. What happens? Suppose the leaves are here and the leaves are here and they are preparing the food. What happens? Here the concentration of glucose is more, concentration of carbohydrate is more. So what will happen? First, these carbohydrate particles, they are actively transported to these companion tubes. Okay, this companion cells as these sieve tubes of this phloem. Okay, then what will happen? Due to the more salt here, more solute here, the water will also enter due to osmotic pressure, and in this way what will happen? In this sieve tube the pressure is more, and in another adjacent sieve tube the pressure will be the less. Then what will happen? Simple, the diffusion will take place, and in this way water shift this water and food material, it shift from one place to another place. Okay, so in this way the transportation of food takes place. Got it? Now the difference between xylem and phloem. One more thing I want to tell here, that this transportation of material, it takes place from leaves to the other parts as well as from the parts where the food is stored. There also the food transportation of food is, it also takes place from the stored sites to the sites where the food is needed. Okay, so in phloem bidirectional flow is there. So see the differences between xylem and phloem. These are the points for xylem, these are the points for phloem. So transports, what xylem does, xylems transport water and minerals. Okay, on the other hand, phloem transport stored or synthesized food. Phloem, they transports stored food or synthesized food. Synthesized food which is synthesized in the leaves, and stored food which is stored in the storage organ like roots and stems or fruits, seeds, all these. Okay, so at the time of need, the food is also transported from the storage sites to the growing parts where the food is needed. Then what the flow in xylem means, the transportation of water and minerals, it is unidirectional flow. It takes place in only one direction from the roots to the upper parts of the body, while the transportation of food, that is translocation, it is bidirectional flow, means it takes place from leaves to the needy parts or storage sites, and again at the time of need the food is translocated from the storage sites to the other needy parts. सो यहाँ पर जो है फूड का ट्रांसलोकेशन दोनों डायरेक्शंस में होता है. देन these xylems are mainly it contains dead tissues. Only xylem parenchyma is living, and all the three tracheids, vessels and xylem fibers, they are dead tissues. On the other hand, phloem is mainly made up of live tissues, living tissues. Only phloem fiber are dead, and all the other three parts, that parenchyma and sieve tube and companion cells, those are living. Okay, so I think I hope you understood the transportation of food and water and minerals inside the plant body. Okay, just always remember these three things. Okay, never forget these three things, that the transportation of water and minerals is done by root pressure and transpirational pull, and this translocation is done by active transport and diffusion. Okay, so enjoy your holidays. Okay, ask if any query is there. Okay, bye.